Welcome into the Cyclone Fanatic post-game report, sponsored, as always, by Centurion Stone, Fareway, and Whiskey River. No matter where you are at in Central Iowa, you can support a longtime friend of Cyclone Fanatic, Whiskey River. Check out their flagship location in downtown Ames. Whiskey River Ankeny is located in Prairie Trail, and then their newest location, Whiskey River, in downtown Des Moines on Ingersoll, for a fantastic liquor and beer selection and amazing burgers. It's Whiskey River, a proud partner of Cyclone Fanatic, and of course Fareway. Check out the new Fareway Meat Market in Ames, or you can go to fareway.com for store locations and healthy and easy recipes today. Rob Gray, Jared Stansbury, after Iowa State's 24-21 win over number 8 Oklahoma State at Jack Trice Stadium here this evening. Rob, an instant classic in Ames. Another one, man, and a fantastic football game. I think both teams played really well, and Cyclones were able to come out on top at the end.
Yeah, I think so too, and kind of reversed last season. On the scoreboard, Oklahoma State misses a couple field goals. Iowa State converts when they need to. They're able to overcome some difficult situations, like giving up a touchdown that probably shouldn't happen late in the first half, and not quite putting the game away, giving Oklahoma State a chance, and then getting that stop where, as Coach Campbell said, it's never easy. So you get the stop on the spot, but then they review it. And, we talked amongst ourselves. There's nothing irrefutable that should overturn that, but we've seen replays end in strange ways. And tonight it ended the right way. Fans rushed the field, and even though the Cyclones were favorites, it's a monumental win for this season to remain on track, knock Oklahoma State into the loss column for the first time this season. And again, just an electric atmosphere. And a lot of times they're classics when these teams get together in weird ways. And kind of was the same tonight, but just two really good football teams. The Cyclones made the play they had to win.
Absolutely. Cyclones squarely back into the Big 12 title game race now, with getting this win, moving to 3-1 in Big 12 play, behind only Oklahoma, who is undefeated still. But man, I think we got to start with the play of Brock Purdy in this game. Absolutely fantastic. Was efficient. He was poised. We talked last week about coming out of Kansas State and the game that he had played there. Matt Campbell talked after the game, some of the early season criticism of Brock. He called it foolish. I think his quote was foolish, but whatever. Yeah. And to see Brock continue to improve and be playing some of his best football at this point, there was a note in the game notes where he's completed like 85% of his passes each of the last 2 weeks. I mean, the kid's playing at a different level right now. This is the guy that Iowa State needs if the Cyclones are going to do the things that they want to do and be able to win a Big 12 title.
Yeah, absolutely, and completely playing within himself. There were some opportunities there. I remember Darren Wilson downfield one-on-one. Maybe Brock throws the dice and lets Darren make a play. He might have made the play, but Brock decides to hold it, take a lesser gain, choose not to risk it there because there's risk all over. You go out to 60 minutes of game, and that's what he's gotten so good at these last 4 or 5 weeks is, as Campbell said, he's just playing incredible football. And I noted last week that he was at roughly 80% completion rate for the season and 9 touchdowns in his last to 1 interception, and now that's 11-1 in recent weeks. So yeah, he is playing at a whole other level. I know you're writing about that too, and rightly so. Brock made his big splash by kind of being a gunslinger. The 2018 big win at Oklahoma State, and shows his growth and evolution that he may help make some explosive plays, but he made the right plays all day. And that's really impressive. And I know you talked to Xavier Hutchinson, who had a huge day himself. I'll be writing about a little bit more. 2 touchdowns for him. But the quote I had from him was, and you have an even better one, was just like, Brock Purdy is just being Brock Purdy, proving people wrong like he always does. And you can see the trust that they have developed and the trust that's permeating this football program. It always happens as the season builds ever since they started to get successful in 2017. It feels a little bit different this time. I don't know. Do you get that vibe too? And who knows what that means for results? But it kind of makes sense given how many seniors came back. But there's something feels a little bit different.
I just think they have so much confidence in each other, you know.
Yeah.
And I mean, this game was so important for Brock and those receivers to step up and be able to get something done, you know, where they're stacking, you know, 7, 8, 9 people in the box on every
Yeah.
given play to stop Brees Hall. Oklahoma State made a concerted decision that they were not going to let 28 be the one to beat them. They were going to put
Yeah.
it on the shoulder of number 15. And, I mean, you got to give him props. You know, the kid went out and won the game. And, you know, obviously he gets help from Xavier and Charlie. And, you know, Tariq Milton obviously had a huge play to get Iowa State down inside the 5 on their last scoring drive. But this was a game where those guys were going to have to step up and get the job done. And they were able to do that. You know, I think even the same can be said about that defense, where we've seen them come up and get the job done time and time again. And, you know, the shout out to Will McDonald, the 2 plays that he made back to back to force a punt by Oklahoma State late in the game with back to back sacks. And then Isheem Young comes up with the play at the end on 4th and 2 to, you know, stop him an eyelash short of getting a first down and win the team the game. And it just comes down to you've got to step up when your number's called. And, you know, this team has started to do those things. And, you know, if they can continue to do it, then Iowa State's going to have every chance, I think, to be able to run the table in this thing.
Well, it's like Coach Campbell says from week to week, win or lose. Especially this season, your A players have to give you A games. And we keep seeing that. I think one of the things that's different, too, it's just how many A players this team has. You know, any Wazarike, gets that hold called finally against that Oklahoma State offensive line. Clearly, they had to be cognizant of that the rest of the way. They well, let's just say they didn't hold as much after that, and it freed Will up to make those plays, and he made more plays, a bunch of guys. And Isaiah played early in the game, but Isaiah Lee had a great one-on-one play in the backfield. So, again, Brees bottled up early, but then Tom Manning, the offense, decided to spread them out. Not necessarily, certainly didn't really play with tempo, but spread them from sideline to sideline, got so many people involved, they couldn't put 9 in the box anymore. And at times, because they get beat really bad, like they were on the Xavier play that got called back for taunting for a tiny high step, I guess. So just great adjustments, and your A players again making those A plays, and that's what we keep seeing as this October comes to an end, and hopefully it leads to a tremendous November.
Looking forward to talking a lot more about this game here in the days ahead. Obviously, we'll have football and random things on Monday, but we're going to have complete coverage of it here tonight. I'll have a story about Brock Purdy. Rob's writing about a couple different things. I know you're going to have something about Xavier, something about the defense as well, right?
Yep, notebook a little bit later after we get our columns and stuff put in. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Okay, sounds good. Well, thanks again to Centurion Stone, Whiskey River, and Fareway. I hope everybody enjoys the rest of their Saturday and has a great rest of their weekend. A huge win for the Cyclones. We'll talk to you again on Monday.